A Halifax-based professor of geriatric medicine and neurology has won a prestigious international prize for his work on understanding ageism. Dr. Kenneth Rockwood is also a professor of Alzheimer's research at Dalhousie University and senior director of a newly formed frailty and elder care network at Nova Scotia Health. He is the winner of the 2021 Ryman Prize, and his work on aging and the clinical frailty scale has been recognized and used internationally. It has made a huge impact in the fight against ageism. Well, joining us now to tell us more about his work and his recent award is Dr. Kenneth Rockwood himself. Dr. Rockwood, welcome to Forum Daily.
Thank you very much.
So let's start with the Ryman Prize itself. Doctor, what is the significance of this award to you?
So it's an important award. It's an international award, and it is validation in some sense of the work that we're trying to do. I'm hoping that it's well timed because with this newly formed Frailty and Elder Care Network, we're going to be asking people to change, and change is hard. And I'm hoping that this can help de-risk the idea that the sorts of changes that we think would be helpful are the types of changes that other people understand to be useful as well.
All right, doctor, let's get into your work. Ageism, that's a very unique topic. So tell us more about your experience and work in the field of understanding aging.
Yeah, I've been interested in this for more than 30 years. I've grown old in this. What I'm particularly quite interested in is the idea of frailty. And frailty has a statistical sense in which it simply means variability in the risk of bad outcomes in relation to people with the same exposure, which here is age. So why do people of the same age have different risks of dying, of going to hospital, of going into long-term care? And it turns out that we've gotten used to thinking about this one disease at a time. So the tendency to say, well, someone has this increased risk because they've got heart disease or stroke or so on. But an inescapable aspect of aging is that things go wrong, and they tend to go wrong not just one at a time, or as it's sometimes said, the problems of old age come as a package. So even though some people have more problems than others do, the chance of having only one particular type of illness, as people particularly get in after the age of 75, gets to be small. And the challenge is that we've had great success in healthcare by studying one thing at a time. And now we need to change our focus, so we have to get happy with the complexity that commonly attends frail older adults when they're acutely ill.
All right, doctor. And we also mentioned that the clinical frailty scale developed by you is internationally recognized. So tell us a little bit more about the scale and how it helps doctors around the world.
Well, the scale came about in a very pragmatic way. Way back in the 1990s, we were part of a really cool study called the Canadian Study of Health and Aging. And as part of that, we were examining about 3,000 people over the age of 65. The intent was to get some way to grade their overall health. And so within geriatrics, there's a way we do that called comprehensive geriatric assessment. So we made sure that the data collection included the rudiments of a comprehensive geriatric assessment, but it was done by people who weren't geriatricians. So we had to have some way for all the doctors, whether they were neurologists or internists or geriatricians or such, to be able to talk to each other. And so the clinical frailty scale meant to integrate all the information they were gathering, but to present it in a way that shows the most common patterns by which people age and when they get to be frail. So the way to think of it is you're not frail or not frail. There are grades of frailty. And so what the clinical frailty scale does, it helps people distinguish from those who aren't frail at all, who have very mild frailty, all the way up to having very severe frailty. And so it came about from that standpoint. Subsequently, it has gained a life as a way to address the more general issue outside of a research context and ordinary clinical care. How frail is this person? And so that's the type of work that we have been aiming to do with the clinical frailty scale, and it's found a real important niche for that, both here and elsewhere.
Doctor, that's a very interesting field of work. We'll definitely be looking out for more from you, sir. Thank you again for joining us today on Forum Daily.
My pleasure.